no confirmation of Iran compliance agreement. Mr. Trump withdraw wire rope. North Korea will be less likely to give up its nuclear program when it sees the United States too easy to change its mind about a nuclear deal with Iran. Shortly after President Donald Trump announced his administration postponed confirmation of compliance with Iran's nuclear deal so Congress could set new terms in the deal, many experts and U.S. officials said. This move will undermine the power of the Iranian nuclear deal and create instability in the international community, at the same time isolate America with its allies. Joel Rubin, chairman of the Washington Strategy Group, expressed concern after the announcement by President Donald Trump. The danger here is that the level of danger is unforeseeable, he said. I think the president believes that empowering the United States will give us the edge in the negotiating table. However, unforeseen events will create unstable situations. Jong Ki-do, Theo Ong Paul B. Stairs, Jai M. Dok Hoi Dong Kwan Hid Oin Go I, CFR, Dong Tai Kua Ong Donald Trump Say and Huang Sa Sak Dan Tine Hein Kwak Te, Kuvuk Va Ka Trut Yen. Toi Kong Gi Rang Now Land Thou Trut Yen Kim Jong Un Jio De La Muan Tu Bokuang Trin Hat Han Guam Min Kiong Thon Han Pham Ida Quay De Dang Thad Oi Y Acute Din Oi Voith A Thuan Hat Han Voyaran.
Former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry says President Donald Trump is creating an international crisis and sees the American leader's move as a dangerous decision for national security interests, as well as allies of the United States.
The Democrats are also pessimistic about Donald Trump's statement. According to Senator Ben Cardin, in the context of the United States and its allies facing the nuclear crisis, Donald Trump created a new crisis, isolating the United States from its allies and partners. On the same day, the owner of the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017, the International Campaign to Eliminate Nuclear Weapons, ICAN, criticized the new decision of U.S. President Donald Trump to withdraw support for the deal, JPOA, and said that the decision would facilitate nuclear development. I can emphasize that the JPOA is evidence of the effectiveness of diplomatic efforts and, like the UN's Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, was approved in July. The plan reflected the grant request. The goal is to eliminate nuclear weapons and dangerous threats from these weapons. Thus, the U.S. President's withdrawal of support for the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action will facilitate nuclear development activities, hampering the achievement of future agreements in order to limit nuclear threat and increase global nuclear risks. Earlier this week, ICAN called on President Donald Trump to respect Iran's nuclear deal and said there was no evidence that Iran was not complying. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has also repeatedly confirmed Iran's compliance with the terms of this historic agreement. The JPOA is a nuclear agreement Iran has reached with the P5+1 group, consisting of the 5 United Nations permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, United Kingdom, Russia, France and China plus Germany, in which Iran pledged to limit its nuclear programs, in exchange for its partners to remove sanctions imposed on the country in connection with the nuclear issue. However, the deal was at risk of collapse as the U.S. government and President Donald Trump repeatedly called it the worst deal and one that the U.S. has ever signed. Donald Trump on December 13 announced his denial of Iran's compliance with the nuclear deal and ceded the decision to end the Iranian nuclear deal for Congress now control. The U.S. Congress will have 60 days to make a decision. Donald Trump's decision is expected to put the United States in the lead with the rest of the P5+1 nations that have signed deals with Iran, including Britain, France, Germany, Russia, and China. A number of these companies have been working to restore trade with Iran after the agreement was reached. If the agreement is cancelled, the water will greatly damage. Many analysts also predict that the United States will be retaliated against by the United States. In addition, the U.S. President's tear-off agreement will allow Iran to resume its nuclear program and refuse to allow inspectors to access its facilities. This is expected to be a catastrophe for the Middle East because it will increase regional instability and cause concern for the region. On the U.S. side, if the agreement is withdrawn, the United States will face more difficulties because President Donald Trump will face the nuclear crisis not only from Korea but also from Iran.